This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. Tonight, police are investigating a shooting in Bangor that happened early this morning.
Bangor Detective Lieutenant Brent Bollier says police responded to a residence on Highland Avenue for a reported altercation, and when officers arrived, they found a male suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was transported to a local hospital. His condition is currently unknown. Detectives and evidence technicians are investigating, and we'll provide you with more information as soon as we get it.
One person is dead after a crash on the interstate in Clinton this morning. State Police spokesperson Shannon Moss says a little before 6 a.m., a Ford Fusion was traveling northbound and tried to pass a Ford Escape. According to Moss, the driver of the Fusion quickly changed lanes in front of the Escape and collided with it. Moss says that collision caused the driver of the Fusion to lose control and go off the roadway. She says the vehicle overturned and hit a tree. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The person driving the Escape was not injured. That crash is still under investigation.
A heated discussion erupted on the House floor over a potential interstate compact to elect the President of the United States by using the national popular vote. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard was in the House chamber and has the story.
The member is questioning the motives of other members, and I request that she be ruled out of order.
The member will defer. The chair will meet the member in front of the chamber.
An outburst on the House floor by Representative Joseph Underwood, a Republican from Presque Isle, highlighted the tension in the House chamber on Tuesday as the national popular vote received its final passage in the House.
It's not an amendment to the Constitution. It is instead an end run around the Constitution that will silence Boehner's voices.
Representatives Laurel Libby and Adam Lee might both be from Auburn, but they have very different viewpoints on the topic of national popular vote, with Representative Libby's floor speeches focusing on disenfranchisement of voters, and Representative Lee focusing on viewpoints from our founding fathers and historical records regarding the 17th Amendment, which changed the way we vote for U.S. senators.
It sounds like a lot of the speeches that I was hearing were that same sort of very cautious, risk-based, everything's going to go to hell if we pass this amendment. And that was the same way people thought about popularly electing senators, and my point was it's not the same thing.
The final vote was 73 to 72, with 3 Democrats who were against the bill leaving the House chamber prior to the vote taking place.
I think that folks who took a walk on this vote were not representing their constituents. They were negating their constituents' voices in their own way by taking a walk and not voting on this critical issue.
Representative Lee says he started out skeptical about the idea of national popular vote and adds people should do their research before coming to conclusions on the topic.
Take your time, do your research, look at what the founders said, and know that their most genius thing was to believe that they weren't infallible and all the decisions that they make weren't infallible.
The compact doesn't go into effect automatically. It requires enough states to agree to the compact in order to be able to cast 270 electoral college votes for the winner of the national popular vote. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Meanwhile, the status of a proposed constitutional amendment to protect reproductive rights in Maine is at this hour uncertain. If passed by the legislature, LD 780 would send a referendum to Maine voters in November to decide if they want to add reproductive rights to the Maine Constitution. The bill passed an initial vote in the Senate on Monday, but fell short of the 2/3 majority it would need to pass its final vote by 4 members. It was scheduled to be taken up in the House on Tuesday, but instead was tabled. Lisa Margulies from Planned Parenthood of Northern New England says lawmakers should focus on letting their constituents make the final decision.
But even if a particular legislator has a different belief on abortion, they should vote for this bill because it's ultimately about whether to allow Mainers to speak on this issue. And to the extent a lawmaker votes no, what they're really telling their constituents is, I don't care what you have to say. I know better, and I'm voting to silence you.
With around 2 weeks left in the current legislative session, time is running out for bills left on the table.
Supporters of a bill overwhelmingly approved by Maine voters last November gathered at the State House today to speak up against what they say is a subversion of the will of Maine people. Maine's automotive right to repair law won an 84% approval from Maine voters in the referendum, but that hasn't stopped discussions on LD 1911, which would roll back the law. Those discussions center around potential security issues as well as concerns from the automotive industry about proprietary information systems. Citizens representing Maine's independent auto repair industry say LD 1911 isn't what Mainers voted for.
And that is direct access to be able to share their information, their repair information, with a repairer of their choice. It takes away a task force that was looked at making sure that there'd be a level playing field in how this information would be sent to an independent repairer or a dealership. And third, it strips away the penalty clause, in which holds the manufacturers accountable for making sure that customers are able to do this and shop around for the best choice.
The bill was voted out of committee on March 5th and is awaiting a full vote of the legislature.
The Maine Public Utilities Commission has approved $22.5 million to help low-income Mainers through the Low-Income Assistance Program, which helps qualified electricity consumers pay for electricity costs. A statement sent out earlier today says the commission also approved another temporary increase in the federal poverty level eligibility threshold, which means an additional 46,000 Mainers will qualify for the program. Eligibility can be determined by local community action agencies or through DHHS. Those who qualify get a credit on their electricity bill.
The Maine Emergency Management Agency is urging Mainers to start preparing for the upcoming storm. MEMA Director Vanessa Corson says many businesses and schools are already planning to be closed on Thursday. Travel will be discouraged, especially during the Thursday morning commute. Corson says high winds and heavy wet snow are expected to cause some power outages, so it's important to start planning now.
Take inventory of the things that you need, and if they require electricity, make sure you have a backup power source, whether that's a generator or a power bank. Make sure you have food on hand that doesn't require cooking, and if you're going to stock up at the grocery store, don't plan on getting things for your fridge or your freezer. You need to get non-perishable food items.
And Corson says if your power does go out, try to keep your fridge and freezer closed as long as possible to keep the temperature inside cool and preserve the food you already do have.
Yeah, those are definitely important things to keep in mind. It certainly sounds like this storm is going to be packing a punch. Yeah. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and get a first check of our forecast.
All right, Beth and Peter, thank you. Happy Tuesday. The advisories are posted now for our next spring storm system on the way. Not so much tomorrow, more so tomorrow night late, and then, of course, throughout the day on Thursday into Friday into Saturday as well. In here is a winter storm warning in pink in anticipation of wind and snow arriving for us late tomorrow night. Today, though, what a gorgeous day, right? Temperatures hanging out in the 50s, plenty of sunshine. We got this, but it's the calm before the storm. In fact, here it is. This thing has lots of energy, lots of motion in the atmosphere, lots of precipitation, and that is all moving in our direction for late tomorrow night through Thursday into Friday. The wind is going to be a thing as well. Today, not an issue, right? Out of the north, around 10 miles per hour. It's going to pick up, though, tomorrow and linger through Thursday. We could have wind gusts near 45 miles per hour with heavy, wet snow falling. That could give us some power concerns as well. Of course, temperatures are critical. A high of 54 here in Bangor today. We'll do about low 40s for high temperatures tomorrow. Our forecast ends tonight, though, is mostly clear skies to partly cloudy skies. Low temperatures down near 30. Your full forecast is coming up.
All right, so things will be changing very quickly.
Very quickly indeed. And coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, we have much more local news. Stay with us.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-8931 or visit us at ParamountPavingLLC.com. Paramount Paving, setting the standard for excellence. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
Comfort Shoes and More is your destination for all of your spring and summer footwear essentials. We have trained podorthists on site, and our friendly, caring, and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are fitted with the proper footwear that is perfect for you.
The OrthoFeed hands-free sneaker is engineered for comfort.
We have many new sandal styles from Hoka, Teva, Power Step, Stride, and more. Come visit Comfort Shoes and More in Newport to find the perfect shoes for you.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 907-4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The city of Waterville has begun more strictly enforcing no camping ordinances in several areas throughout the community as they continue to effort getting people out of tents and into shelters. However, the city's homeless shelter is worrying about keeping their doors open as they face funding issues and greater demand. Our Grace Blanchard has details.
Waterville city officials say there is a dire need to help get more people off the streets and into housing.
We have a fair number of people experiencing homelessness, and we recognize that we need to treat all of our community members with fairness and compassion.
Last month, the city began posting signs in areas where those experiencing homelessness tended to populate. A clear message saying no camping day or night. Police take notice.
Those folks that would be camping, we have to keep them safe also, and the conditions under which they were living last summer at Hedda Falls were simply inhumane, and we can't continue to allow that.
The city's police chief says police responded over 700 times to area encampments near the Riverwalk, Lehman Island, and Hathaway Falls in the past year. However, some say a camping ban may not be the right solution, as it could overwhelm the local shelter.
If we're not careful stewards of that shelter resource, it will disappear.
The CEO and president of the Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter says they rely on funding from Maine Housing to shelter over 50 people each night.
As that funding runs out, people begin to have to go back outside.
She says they are at risk of closing by the end of the year without immediate support from the state, leaving many shelter guests on edge.
Geez, I don't know. I guess I'd have to walk on down the road and find another place somewhere or something,
The shelter's president says they will do what they can to help keep everyone off the streets, but the future of all Maine shelters is unclear.
If those appropriations bills are not favorable, not only will we close sooner, there will be shelters across the state who will struggle to stay open.
In Waterville, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Today marked the beginning of a new chapter in the efforts to expand Maine's public EV charging network. Federal and state officials gathered in Rockland this morning to unveil the first high-speed EV charging stations in Maine to be funded under President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. Our Doug Banks was there.
5 of these 8 charging ports that you see behind us are funded by this program.
The National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Formula Program, or NEVI program, provides funding to help create EV charging stations along corridors across the country, a program established under President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law in 2022.
This is something that will be good for all Americans, but particularly in coastal states.
On Tuesday morning, state and federal officials gathered at Rockland Plaza as Maine became the 5th state to open NEVI-funded chargers and the first to have a NEVI-funded charging location in conjunction with Tesla.
If we can reduce the carbon footprint of our transportation sector, which produces about 30% of our GHG emissions from our economy, that's just a win-win. That way we're not spending billions of dollars responding to climate events.
This new charging site in Rockland has 8 fast charging stalls.
and is a key travel route enabler for expanding charging access.
Partnered with state and government departments, the Recharge Maine project is leading the charge in expanding the state's electric vehicle infrastructure.
We've seen that long-distance travel in EVs is manageable, and it will get more and more convenient thanks to federal investments like this one.
Over the next several years, Maine will receive $19.3 million from the NEVI program, money that will establish new charging locations across the state, including Portland, Bangor, Bridgeton, and more.
As we see more and more of these opportunities around the state, it'll be even easier to just stop, pick up your groceries, charge your car while you're in there, come out, and be ready to keep going.
In Rockland, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And there is much more to come here on ABC 7 News at 6.
Including sports. Stay with us.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
On April 8th, Maine will experience a total solar eclipse. ABC 7 and Fox 22 will have team coverage throughout the day from Holton, Jackman, Millinocket, and Lincoln, and have a live special on ABC 7 from 2 to 4 p.m. as the path of totality moves across our state. ABC 7 and Fox 22 is your home for the Maine eclipse.
Eclipse coverage sponsored by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success.
At Living Innovations, we build community. You can be a part of it. We put supporting people first, and that builds a caring community within our workforce and for the people we serve. Living Innovations supports people with disabilities and has flexible work opportunities available. You could become a shared living provider and work from home, or help support people to be active in the community. To learn more, visit livinginnovations.com and check out our employment and home provider opportunities. Become a part of Living Innovations and be part of a community with a purpose.
Machias Savings Bank is proud to partner with Coastal Women's Health.
We want to be partnered with a company that's in Maine, that understands Maine values, but is committed to staying with Maine businesses and partnering for the future.
In the near future, Coastal Women's will be expanding our space to allow us to take care of more patients in southern Maine, and we're happy to be partnering with Machias to take care of our needs in that expansion.
Machias Savings Bank, the bank of yes.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Bangor, located in the Penobscot Plaza, providing custom ink by licensed artists for more than 20 years.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Red Sox Nation today mourning the loss of former team president Larry Lucchino, who passed away earlier this morning at the age of 78. Lucchino spent 14 years with the Sox from 2002 through 2015, helping the team capture 3 World Series titles over that time, including the curse breaker in 2004. Lucchino helped establish the Red Sox Foundation, and he was a huge supporter of the Jimmy Fund and so many other charitable organizations. Prior to his time in Boston, Lucchino served as an executive with the Orioles and later the Padres. Most recently, he served as chairman and principal owner of the AAA Worcester Red Sox, spearheaded the drive for the creation of Polar Park. Even when he first got to Boston, he has always had an admiration for baseball fans here in Maine.
Been loyal to the Red Sox. We want to be loyal to the people of Maine and tell them how much we appreciate their enormous support. There's no place in New England that is more intense and more loyal to the Red Sox than Maine.
All right, certainly glad for the 14 years that we had Larry around the Red Sox and wishing his family peace at this time. Let's go to some high school softball now. In Class D North, the Penobscot Valley Howlers are looking to be contenders again, get back to where their season ended a year ago in the regional finals. The Howlers were the 2 seed and made it to the D North championship game where they fell to 5 seed Machias. All but one player returned from that squad that dominated their opponents, going 12-0 in the regular season and outscoring them 14-2 on average. Their confidence is at an all-time high. That's combined with the hunger from that last game of the season.
We only have a lot of really big hitters, and we're getting all of those back.
A strong third baseman, first baseman, our pitcher's really strong. We got to take it one game at a time.
We're definitely a really great young team, and I think we have really good potential this year. We're definitely really excited.
The pitching and the catching coming back, still being young, we want to be right there again.
The Howlers haven't won a regional title in 5 years. Their last one coming in 2019. There is no doubt in their mind they can get it done. Like we said, they're hungry after the way last season ended, but that drive to succeed isn't limited to this year. As much as they want to win for those who support them, they've always wanted to win for each other as well.
It's lingering pretty good. We definitely want it really bad this year. It would be really big for all of us.
It's exciting. We want it. They just got to work hard, and hopefully we're there at the end.
They've been strong since Little League. You know, I played with a lot of these girls from Little League, and we come from such a small community that we've all played together, and we know that we don't want to let each other down.
All right, that is all the time we have for sports. Here's Jeff Weller with your full 5-day forecast. Jeff?
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Don't miss out on free college. We have a lot to talk about this afternoon. Here we are. Well, our advisories are posted, and here is a winter storm warning pretty much late Wednesday through Thursday into Friday for snow and wind on the way, arriving for us late tomorrow night and lingering through Friday afternoon. Out there today, though, the calm before the storm, right? Clear skies today. It was gorgeous with temperatures in the 50s across our area. But here it is, lots of moisture over here, lots of oomph in the atmosphere, and a huge spring storm system here moving in this direction. Once it gets here, it's going to rain and snow for several days around here into the weekend. Let's walk you through it, though. So tonight, no issues at all. Just increasing clouds tonight. Now tomorrow, no issues at all either. Here's 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Still, the rain and snow back off to our west, right? But then overnight tomorrow night, and then throughout the day on Thursday, notice the darker blue colors here. That is some light to moderate snow at times, probably heavy too at times. Throughout the day Thursday, into Thursday night, into Friday. It'll begin to mix with some rain showers on Thursday into Friday as well. And it'll probably end as a rain-snow mix across our region later on Friday afternoon. But this is quite the storm system. It's slowing down as it enters our area. It's going to bring us precipitation for several days around here. And it is going to add up to something like this snowfall-wise. We're talking potentially a foot of snow for the Bangor area and parts to the west of here, a little bit less than that further east and north, but you get the idea. With a healthy, long-duration snow event on the way and more precipitation, we don't need that, with some rain in there, of course, on Thursday night into Friday as well. Also, the problem is going to be the wind. Not today out of the north around 5 miles per hour, but tomorrow we're going to crank up the wind, gusting near 20, and on tomorrow night, wind gusts near 30, and on Thursday, wind gusts near 40 to 45. Picture that with heavy, wet snow in the trees, wind gusts of 45 miles per hour. That could give us some power concerns, of course, on Thursday night into Friday, as that wind will crank up across the entire area Thursday into Friday for us. So here we go, a long duration event on the way. Temperatures today in the mid-50s here in Bangor, 51 for Bar Harbor. Tomorrow about 41, 42 for a high, and then some much cooler temperatures getting in here on Thursday. And of course, the eclipse is this coming Monday, and you get the idea. The forecast is still holding for nice viewing of the eclipse around here. Fingers crossed that holds as we work into the weekend and beyond. Our forecast for tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies, low temperatures down near 28, with that northeast breeze around 5. For tomorrow, all right, mostly cloudy and a bit breezy. High temperatures noticeably colder, with a high temperature of 42 tomorrow, with that gusty northeast wind. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows tomorrow is the calm before the storm. Thursday, snow is likely. Friday, rain, snow likely. Saturday, rain and snow. Colder, a high of 38. There's the weekend with temperatures near 50.
All right, we're bracing.
Yes, we are.
All right, there's still more to come. Stay with us.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrix material, which is twice as strong as vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Andersen. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Andersen handles everything, from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and a superior process.
It's the people.
It's the process.
It's the product.
Call now to get our exceptional signature service. This fantastic offer is available only for a limited time. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Spectrum Internet delivers with fast and reliable speeds nationwide, so there's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum. Now get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi and a Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line free for 12 months. Visit Spectrum.com or call 844-242-1479. Spectrum Internet offers speed and reliability, while advanced Wi-Fi gives you best-in-class security and privacy for all your connected devices. And Spectrum Mobile delivers unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G included. Switch now and get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 with advanced Wi-Fi and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited free for 12 months. Start saving today. Go to Spectrum.com, a Spectrum store, call 844-242-1479, or scan to call now.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
A mom of twins in Blue Hill is living out her dream of being a clothing designer. Alyssa Radcliffe opened up her own shop called Tangle 6, where she not only displays her handmade pieces, she also teaches others how to sew their own. Our Jody Hersey has more.
Designer Alyssa Radcliffe of Blue Hill has always felt at ease behind her sewing machine.
I like working with wovens like linen and hemp and cotton. I like working with more like natural materials rather than polyester or something with spandex in it.
However, life got busy for Radcliffe, as it does for many of us, and soon her focus was needed to care for her twins and her husband, who was battling FTD.
He was diagnosed with frontotemporal degeneration, or FTD, which is an early form of dementia. It's the most common form of dementia in people under 60.
When her husband passed in 2016, Radcliffe's goal was to remain present and available for her children. She found opening her own shop called Tangle 6 near her children's school allowed her to stitch together a life that works for all of them.
And I think there's something about making things, like we've sort of lost touch with making things a lot, because it does take a lot of time. And it's a skill that does help to learn from somebody.
Here in her shop, which she opened in 2020, Radcliffe does alterations and mending. She also teaches private and group sewing lessons and designs dresses, shirts, and vests.
As bad as FTD can happen, and my husband getting sick and dying, and my children losing their father, and if something as bad as all that can happen, then maybe something as good as like this actually working out and becoming a clothing designer. So I thought, you know, if that bad thing can happen, maybe in the equal opposite direction, something good can happen. So.
In Blue Hill, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A great story there. Finally tonight, beer makers will be taking over the Miller Civic Center in Holton on Friday for the Black Fly Brewfest Eclipse Edition. The Holton Chamber of Commerce says more than a dozen beer makers and 2 distillers will be on hand to offer taste testings of different beers, wines, and liquors. The event has been going on for the past 6 years now, but organizers say instead of celebrating Brewfest in May like they usually do, they decided to ask brewers to come in April in order to coincide with the total solar eclipse.
These brewers bring 3 to 5 beers a piece. So we have 18 coming. So if you have 8, that's a lot of beer to try. But we offer some food. We have some food trucks. It turns out to be a really nice gathering.
The Black Fly Brew Fest will take place Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. VIP tickets are going for $50 a pop. General admission tickets are $35 each, and they can all be purchased at the Greater Holton Chamber of Commerce or online at greaterholton.com. So good beer, food trucks. Sounds like a great time and a great way to gear up for the eclipse.
That's generally a pretty great combination right there.
I think
now
so.
we're just going to add in the eclipse for extra fun.
Exactly. The cherry on top.
Indeed. All righty, folks, that is going to do it for us. Take care and good night.
Good night, everyone.